today's episode of The Daily Blend. I am your host, AC, and we are joined in studio today by Chef Rayna Thompson, owner of LunchLady. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I am doing very well. So we are here today closing out February, talking about some soul food.
Okay.
And we know that soul food made its way during the Great Migration when Black folks were moving from the South up north.
Right.
And for our family in particular, that started with our great aunt, Laura Cleaves, who came up from Mississippi.
Right.
And found work and got stable, and then years later sent for her younger sister, Willa Mae, who is our grandmother.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so Willa Mae Delaney is our grandmother, and she was the queen of the soul food around those parts, right?
For sure.
Yes, absolutely. And so a lot of these recipes that we still cook today came straight from Mama.
Right, from Mama.
Right, because we called her Mama.
Right.
And we will get into some of all this lovely other soul food that you have prepared for us, but we are going to focus today on Candied Yams.
Yes.
Because that's my favorite.
Oh, everybody's favorite.
I mean, this is my favorite. And I know people cook them in different ways.
Absolutely.
But let's talk about how we learned how to fix them.
So we did not bake them.
We did not. We did not.
She always gave a 3-step process, basically. Layering, well, maybe 4 steps. So layering, then you stir, then you fold, and then you shake, right? So to this pot, I'm going to add butter. We could have used a little more, but we're going to add some butter.
Okay.
That's our first layer. And then pre-chopped here, I have some sweet potatoes.
Okay.
She always did them in these fine, small circles. She always used to say, make sure they're thin so they get coated, candied well.
I want to make sure everybody sees.
Okay, right.
This is the shape that I am used to. And so, you know, people do them in all
chop them
kinds.
up or use frozen stuff now. It's horrible.
Yep.
Horrible.
I mean, it's okay.
Traditions.
It's okay.
Though.
Traditions, you're right.
Absolutely. So just sugar, pure cane sugar, and you layer. You want to cover everything in the pot.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
And then you want to think about the people at the bottom, so a little more.
Yes.
And then you got cinnamon, nutmeg, ground nutmeg for sure, because nutmeg comes dusted too.
Yes.
So you just want to literally cover all your potatoes.
And question, because this do you use more cinnamon or more nutmeg?
More nutmeg.
Okay.
More nutmeg. The cinnamon is going to give you like dessert vibes. So nutmeg is more.
So don't overdo the cinnamon. If you're following along, don't overdo the cinnamon because you think don't overdo the cinnamon.
Please don't. It's gonna make your glaze really dark and not tasty at all.
Yeah, so don't overdo it.
And then last but not least, pure vanilla extract. She used to use just a modest amount. I would say probably about a teaspoon and a half to every cup of sugar. So that'll be your last layer, and you want to pour it right in the middle so you can, 1, see it, and then 2, hear it.
You can hear it. You can hear that when it sizzles.
Absolutely.
And you may notice, don't call us or email us and ask us for measurements.
Measurements, there's no
we don't
measurements.
do that.
Yeah, it's solely by the eye. The smell, you can kind of smell when it's ready as well. So initially you want to stir, right? You want everything to be coated with what you just put in the pot.
And so tell me why you can stir it at first.
So now it's okay to stir because our potatoes are still raw.
Exactly.
Right? They're still hard. So as they cook down and your glaze starts to form, they'll get softer automatically. So at that point, when they're softer, you want to flip them, right? So that's the fold method. Take all your potatoes from the bottom, put them on top.
Yes.
Then once that simmers down some more, you'll start seeing it. You'll see a little boil at the bottom with the glaze, and then you want to shake.
Yes.
And that's just to keep everything from the bottom from sticking. And then, like I said, your glaze will start to coat all of your potatoes.
Yes.
Once they're finished, of course, I would say about 10 to 15 minutes per potato. So if you're doing a big pot of potatoes, that 10 to 15 minutes, at least shake every 5.
So this is not a recipe. So this is exactly how I make my yams, and I'm typically making a big pot, right? So I'm layering, like you said, like lasagna.
Of course.
I'm layering, you know, the butter, the potatoes, the sugar, the seasonings, the cinnamon, and then another layer of potatoes. I just keep doing that till I get to the top.
Exactly.
And you have to stay with it. You cannot leave this and like walk off and do something else, because if you do,
you'll burn your glaze.
You're gonna have a burn mess. And you're gonna have wasted a whole bunch of sweet potatoes. So that's why you gotta fold. If you keep stirring those potatoes,
they break.
You're
It'll
gonna have
look like mash.
You're gonna have mashed potatoes, and I mean it might still be tasty, but it's definitely not gonna have.
Oh, they'll be tasty. I've had clients ask them for mashed, but traditional stance on it. Absolutely do not keep stirring.
Yes, and so I just keep flipping, flipping, turning, and then when the end,
and then you'll start to see it once they get to breaking and things like that. That's when you know it's time to stop stirring.
Yes, and your ancestors will whisper to you.
Okay, they're gonna tell you.
They'll say, "That's enough cinnamon."
Okay,
they will tell you. I'm telling you, and listen. You got to be listening for it. And I'll tell you another thing: taste the stuff as you. As it starts getting done,
midway process, you'll start seeing the glazing anyway. Yeah. So that's a perfect time. And then you'll know if it's actually glazing or not, because it'll coat your spoon in a way that,
Yes. And so what we would typically serve this with, some greens with some smoked turkey, right?
Absolutely.
Some baked mac and cheese.
Homemade mac.
Right? Homemade mac. Of course, these are some finished candied yams. Look at that.
That's the glaze we were just talking about.
Lovely. A little cornbread.
For sure. Oh, got two.
That's okay. And some fried chicken.
Absolutely.
And so what we're going to do, because this is a family recipe, is bring our family on. Come on, family.
Okay.
Come on, family. Come on
Fried
in.
hard the first time chicken.
Yes, that's right. Fried hard the first time chicken. And so this is family. Come on in, family. Squeeze in, squeeze in. My mom and two of my daughters, Cameron and Jasmine, two of the four. And you all are all familiar with these recipes because this is how we all learn how to make them. So
she's the first to know.
Give it a little taste. Here, hold on to it. You got it? Double plated. Oh, she said, I'm not dropping that. I'm not dropping. You thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Actually, I have a fork in my pocket.
Handy dandy fork.
I can't prepare, but I'm gonna start with the yams.
Yeah, let me know what y'all think.
Yes.
It's giving mama.
It's giving mama. All right. Thank you so much, Rayna, for being here.
Anytime.
Soul Food Sunday.